artist, like a real artist to their face, you would rather use AI than hire them? Happy apple picking day! Some quick reminders from all of our friends. If you want to transfer your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/AmITheBadApple. And just so we're all on the same page, we all come from different branches of the apple tree. And what that means is that our lives, our jobs, our childhoods, our families, our relationships, they're all going to give us perspectives on different parts of life that are going to shape our opinions. And yours doesn't have to match somebody else's all the time. And that's okay. We practice constructive communication down in the comments, but also a reminder that some things are not an opinion. Your boundaries for what you have for your loved ones, that's your own opinion. That's your call. Someone's right to love another human being, not your opinion, not your business. Those kinds of things, just so we're all on the same page, because there's always confusion about that. So without further ado, let's get started with this week's episode of Am I the Bad Apple? Let's go apple picking! Apple number 1. Am I the bad apple for not appreciating my wife's effort on my birthday? My wife has OCD, like real OCD, not just people who say they have OCD because they think it's quirky. And she's a huge planner. It's very difficult for her to just go with the flow. If we're gonna do something, she wants all the details. My birthday was coming up, and a while ago, she asked what I wanted to do. I've been really burnt out from work lately, so I told her I really just wanted to go to a chain restaurant around here on whatever day. Just a chill night out. I don't want to get dressed up or anything. She asked, okay, where? What time? I told her I'll just pick a day of whenever I'm feeling like I have the energy. And I don't know what I'll want to eat that day. Maybe I'll want Olive Garden or just to get Chinese takeout. I expressed many times, I don't want to plan anything. I just want to go with the flow of what I'm feeling that day. This week she asked about what time I was thinking, and I said, probably when we get home, both of us, so like 5, 6 o'clock we can go. She was getting frustrated that I wasn't giving her more answers, and I told her I'll pick what I want to eat on that day based on what I'm feeling. She asked if we were going to need reservations, and I told her no, multiple times, that we will just be a walk-in on Wednesday to whatever chain restaurant I'm feeling at the time. She said, okay, but do you want anything fancy? And I said, no, I don't. I just want a simple night out. Well, yesterday was the issue. I really wanted Olive Garden. I was just feeling Olive Garden. I want to get off work, go get some breadsticks, chill the rest of the night, and just hang out at home. I got home around 5 and my wife is all dressed up. I asked why, and she said that she made reservations for the fancy sushi place in the city. She said it was a surprise and that we needed to leave in about 20 minutes. Nothing in my entire life has ever sounded so unappealing to me. I told her I wanted to go to Olive Garden, and we got into an argument about how she spent all this effort to get a reservation and I wasn't appreciative. I told her I didn't want any of this, and at the end of the day, I just left to go to Olive Garden by myself. We got into another argument about it when I came back. So, was I the bad apple? This one, okay, this one was frustrating for me. Like when I first glanced at this and I was reading like for the first time, like just now out loud to you guys, I really wanted this to be like a no bad apple situation. Cause like in my first thought was, oh, it's not her fault that she wants a plan. Like she has OCD, she needs this. This is something that like, you know, she's neurodivergent. This is something that she she needs this. And I don't know much about OCD, like actual OCD. Again, like you said, not the quirky I have OCD that like people will say because they think it's cute. I've said this for a lot of different disabilities, but it is really unfortunate how like the idea of having a disability has like become a cute little quirky trait to some people that they think they can just, that's a different issue. I'm gonna go on a tangent. And I think something to like really point out to you guys is that like as I'm reading to you, I'm focused on like what I'm reading. I don't really get to sit and think about it and internalize it. I'm like actively reading. I can't do both at the same time. So as soon as I was done reading, I really wanted it to be like, oh, no bad apples, you know, like she just, you know, she has her disability and it kind of clashed with what you were wanting to do at the time, and it just is what it is. But then I like took 10 seconds and I was like, actually, no. Because while it is true that, yes, she does have disability, she does like to plan, she likes to have a plan, very type A person, can't go with the flow well, she still actively chose to plan something that went completely against everything that he voiced that he wanted. You know what I mean? Like she said, do you want something fancy? No. So then why are you like picking something fancy? I'm trying to explain to you guys the initial thoughts that I had reading this, because I know that I have people in my life who don't love celebrating their birthday, not because they genuinely hate celebrating their birthday, but they don't like having expectations and then being let down if like no one really tries to do anything. So I try to go above and beyond for my loved ones' birthdays because I want them to feel loved and I want them to feel special, and that's something that's so important to me. But if someone were to tell me I don't want this, I wouldn't plan for exactly that. What I would do, me personally, in this situation, if I was someone that I like needed to plan, it was gonna sit there and eat at me for days on end if I didn't have a plan, and my partner was still like, hey, I don't know what I want, I'm gonna want something the day of, because I also get that. Like me and my friends do that all the time. Like we plan for a day and a time and we're like, we'll see what we're feeling the day of. I do it all the time. Love it. If I needed to have a plan in place, I'd just call and make a reservation at a bunch of different places. And then whatever they were feeling that day, make whatever necessary cancellations that I needed to make. Is that extra? Yeah. I'm an extra person. Not everyone's gonna wanna do that, and that is okay. Everyone's gonna have their different boundaries with that. But like that would be my way of, if I needed to do that, I would take those extra steps to make sure we could go where they wanted to go. I could be satisfied mentally with my little plan, and they could still pick whatever they wanted to that day. But she didn't do that. She planned exactly the opposite of the few details that he said that he did not want are what she planned. And I don't love that. I don't love that. And I don't love that it turned into like, well, what about me-isms? That's a thing on the internet that I see like all the time. All the time. Like when you post like, oh, this is a recipe for soup. What if I don't like soup? It's not, then this isn't for you. I don't know what to tell you. That's so funny when people like make comments of like, I don't like this video. Then don't watch it. Then don't watch it. Like okay? Which I know isn't like the exact same thing here, but to me, it's still like, what about meism? Like for his birthday, he voiced, this is what he wanted to do. This is what he did and did not want. And the day of was like, this is the food that I want. And she's like, but what about me? I wanted to go to sushi. Well, it's not your birthday. Go to sushi. It's not your birthday. I really don't like that when he voiced, this isn't what I wanted, it turned into like how it hurt her feelings that her planning what he didn't want wasn't received well. Like, it's not about you. It's just not. I don't see why it has to be that deep. Why does it have to be an argument? Just, oh, okay, cancel the reservation. I'll put on something else. Whatever. Like, why does it have to be a big deal? And I don't really understand the, well, I went through so much trouble. Don't you just call a restaurant and make a reservation? Am I crazy for, like, I don't understand. Am I crazy for thinking like that's, am I missing something? I don't understand. What is there to appreciate? You called and made a phone call. And like, yeah, you did your makeup. Were you not gonna do your makeup to go out in general? Like, I don't understand. Like, sure, maybe you put on something fancier than what you would have for Olive Garden, but it's not like that was like hours and hours. And even if it was, so what? Just save that outfit for a different date night. I don't know, like, why does this have to be a fight? I don't understand. Maybe I'm missing something. Like, I'm a very go with the flow person a lot of the times. And I'm like I love going out to a fancy restaurant. I don't need to go out to a fancy restaurant. So like, maybe I just don't understand. I don't know. But I really don't love that, like, when it was pushed, like, this is what he wanted to do and he's gonna go to Olive Garden because that's what he wanted for his birthday. I don't like that she didn't just drop it and go get what he wanted for his birthday. I don't like that he had to go by himself. Like, why would he have to coddle her that what she wanted to do on his birthday wasn't what he wanted to do on his birthday? I don't like that. I'm going good, Apple. I don't like it at all. It's not that deep. It feels like for this to be like an ongoing issue of, okay, he went to go get his food, came back, and she's still arguing with him about it. Am I missing something? I feel like this shouldn't be that big of a deal. And I could be missing something, because a lot of times I do, again, like what we catch in the stories, like it's all, some people are gonna catch one thing, other people are gonna catch another thing, other people are gonna focus on another detail. That's human behavior. It just is. Sometimes I miss things. Sometimes you guys miss things. We are human beings. I don't know what I'm missing here for this to be that deep, that we're arguing that he wanted Olive Garden. Like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go good apple. Apple number 2. Am I the bad apple for asking my friend to not wear makeup to my wedding? I, 24 female, recently asked my close friend, Devin, 23 female, to be my bridesmaid for my wedding. We've been friends since high school, and I was very excited to have her by my side. I put together baskets for my bridesmaids that included a printed list of the dress code for the wedding. The list included that I wanted them to wear a green dress in any style or shade, silver heels, and light natural makeup. I actually planned on having a makeup artist there the day of to do the girls' makeup for them. For context, Devin typically dresses in a very traditional goth style with a white base, heavy black eyeliner, etc., etc. I love her style, and I think she looks gorgeous in it. However, that's not really the look I'm going for my wedding. She texted me a few hours after I gave her the basket saying, so I'm not allowed to wear my makeup to the wedding? I explained to her that if she wanted to be a bridesmaid, she'd have to adhere to my dress code, but she was welcome to just come as a guest and dress in her normal style if she wanted. She responded basically saying, if you don't want me to be myself, then I don't need to be there at all. I told her I wasn't trying to change who she is. I just want her to match the rest of the bridesmaids for one day for the photos. She got very upset and said that I was trying to aestheticize all my friends and that I cared more about a photo than my friends' comfort. My friends and family are very mixed on the situation, some saying that I'm being controlling and purposefully excluding Devin, while others agree it's my wedding and she's being very dramatic. Devin hasn't spoke to me since our text conversation, and I've heard from mutual friends that she's saying she's not welcome to my wedding, which is not true. I want her there, and I would love for her to be a bridesmaid, but I would like for my bridesmaids to match, and if she's not willing to do that, she can still come and dress how she wants as a guest. I don't understand why it's that big of a deal when I was in her wedding and wore very gothic makeup and dresses as a bridesmaid for her. I don't understand why this is a crazy ask. Am I the bad apple? No. This is like, oh, my earring just came out. Oh no. This is a very chill, you can wear whatever green you want. Any dress in any shade of green that you want. That's so chill. Not even like a specific fabric or length or what? That's really chill. That's cool. Like, I've never heard of, actually, I do know of one person, they weren't my friend, it was a friend of a person that I know, a friend of a ex-family member who did like you can wear anything in this fabric in this color. Actually, I did that. I said, this color, any dress. This color and fabric, any dress you want, whatever makes you comfortable. But that's still like not the same as like any dress, whatever, as long as it's green, I don't care. That's really neat. Like that, I don't see that as controlling at all. Like my friends and I, when everyone has gotten married, I know we've always had like a very big focus on like, I don't want to be controlling. I understand everyone has lives and like I want to get a dress someone might be able to wear again somewhere one day. So like those are the kinds of people that like I spend my time with, and they'd fit in really well. Like that's so accommodating in my opinion. I don't think it's crazy at all to say I want everyone to be matchy-matchy on my wedding day. Like, it's your wedding. You're paying for the fancy photos, you're paying for the venue, you're paying for the makeup. I don't think it's crazy to want the one person to stick out in the photos to be the bride, not a bridesmaid. Like, I don't think that's a crazy ask at all. Because like, let's be honest, if everyone was wearing light makeup and there was one person in the photo who had like gothic style makeup, like it's beautiful, but that would stand out. The bride is supposed to be the one standing out. Like, it's not about you. It's not about a bridesmaid. It's just not about you. Like, I have friends who have been bridesmaids in other people's wedding, and like, the dresses are atrocious. Like, they're just, oof. But it's fine, and they do it because that's their friend, and they love them, and they want to support them, and it's not about them. It's about the bride. Like, and the groom, of course. But like, when you're a bridesmaid, you're there for the bride. When you're a groomsman, you're there for the groom. I feel like that's common sense. I just know that me continuing to say it's about the bride, someone's gonna be like, well, what about the groom? When you're a bridesmaid, you're there for the bride. And the groomsmen are there for the groom. I feel like that should be common sense. But you know, you can't please everyone on the internet. I think it's pretty crazy that someone who's close enough to be in a wedding party is not willing to wear a different style of makeup for one day for someone that they love for their wedding photos. I think that's very weird. I don't like it. I just don't. And to then like double down and tell people you're not welcome at this event when it's been made clear to you, if you would prefer to not stand up there and wear your regular attire, you can do that, but I would just prefer my wedding party photos to look a certain way, which I think is fair. I don't think if anyone who does not understand that or like think that's valid, I don't know if you understand how expensive wedding photography is. Like thousands of dollars. Yeah, I think it's fair to want the photos to look a certain way when you're spending thousands of dollars on them. I think it's fair to want to be the one to stand out as the bride when you're spending thousands of dollars on wedding photography for your wedding. Like if we were talking about something else, like if we were talking about, oh, the bride wanted deep V-necks and somebody was very self-conscious about showing off their body in that way, or there were like cutouts where like you could see their stomach and someone was self-conscious, but that would be a different story. That I would absolutely would think that would be a completely different story. But it's not. We're talking about someone wearing a little bit less makeup and having a professional do it so that it looks like a certain color palette that fits everybody else. We're talking about natural makeup so that everyone looks seamless and that the only person that really stands out is the bride. I might be missing something and I would love for someone to like point out what I could be missing, but I think it's very entitled to be genuinely upset that you won't stick out in someone else's wedding. Stick out as in like, I don't even know how to put the thoughts into words. Like I understand being able to express yourself in your day-to-day life is so important and I support that. But this isn't your event to express yourself. This is your friend's event for you to express your love for her. And if you can't wear less makeup for a couple hours a day to do that, I personally don't think you're a good friend. And again, I could be missing something and you guys let me know if I am, but like based on my experience in my life, I have never been someone who has been so reliant on makeup in that way. Like I think women as a whole tend to have way more insecurities when it comes to appearance and makeup and things like that. Like I know when I first started social media, you would not catch me dead in front of my ring light or my camera or anything without like full on makeup. And as anyone that's followed me for a really long time has known, like you've probably been able to see phases in my social media journey where like I've had insecurity issues with appearance and things like that. Like, you know, I went through a fake lashes phase, I went through a self-tanner phase, and I'm really fortunate that I got to a point with my confidence and my self-esteem that I was able to move away from that. Because I just remember like a couple times looking back at footage or videos I was posting and just like not recognizing who I saw on the screen and like reminding myself, you know, like you have a lot of kids that follow you, you have a lot of young girls and young women that follow you, like what are you doing? And like since then, I mean, I've posted podcast ads where I wear no makeup at all in 4K, and I really value me being able to do that, but I understand that not everybody is at that point. I understand that and I empathize with that, and like that everyone has their own journey and that's okay. But at the same time, I can't imagine like not being able to wear different makeup professionally done in a way to ensure you still look good for someone else's vision for their wedding. Like she's not asking her to wear something that's extremely revealing to her body. She's not asking her to dye her hair or cut her hair or get a tattoo or anything. She's just asking her to wear a different style of makeup. And I'm having trouble coming to terms with somebody, like as someone who did experience like a lot of insecurities around appearance and makeup and things like that, I'm having trouble coming to terms with like not being able to do that for a couple hours for your friend. I think that's messed up, and I don't know what I don't know if I'm missing something, but I just don't like that. I wouldn't consider that like a friend if someone couldn't do that for me, especially if I did it for them for their day. So I'm gonna go good apple, and even though it stinks, I genuinely believe that in the long run, like that might be for the best, because that's not someone that I feel like you would really be able to rely on if you ever needed something serious. You know what I mean? Like if that's a life or death situation for them and now they're going around and telling everyone they're not welcome at your wedding, which is again not the case, then honestly, you don't want them in those wedding pictures anyways. As a bride, you just don't. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for ruining a customer's day? I, 17 female, work at a pizza shop. The pizza shop also just so happens to sell wings. I was bouncing between the make line and the registers when this woman came in, and I knew what her order was gonna be because she comes in every week. She always orders wings and she always orders flats. When we receive wings, they come in small bags according to the count. So we get 6 bag counts, 12 bag counts, and they're of all the types of wings, okay? We don't just get bags of flats and bags of drums. It doesn't work like that. So when we get someone who wants all flats or drums, we just tell them we can't guarantee that. Because again, the bags are mixed. We're not just gonna sit there and like open multiple bags of chicken and like pick that's not how things are done. Especially when it's busy like that, it's too time consuming. So when she ordered 6 wings, only flats, I told her I'm sorry, but we can't guarantee that you will get all flats. She started getting an attitude with me and told me, yes, you can. This is not my first rodeo. Girl, I've been working here for 2 years. It's not mine either. Of course, I didn't say that, but I thought it. I went to go pop her wings in the oven and she sat there watching me, making sure I was only getting her flats. I started opening the 6 count bag of wings and out came a couple flats. And she started not yelling, but loudly letting me know that she didn't want the drums and that the other location gives her all flats, so we should be able to too, so take those drums out. She kept going on while I was trying to prepare her food, and I finally turned around and said, ma'am, if you don't like the way we make wings here, why don't you just go to the sister location? I tried to be as polite as I could, but then she got all pissy about that comment. I ruined her day. I'm being rude. She wants a refund. She doesn't want to come here anymore. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't want to deal with it, so I just gave her the refund. She ended up storming out and leaving, and I just... Was I the bad apple? Should I have coddled her a little bit more? I just need to know. I think... I know there's gonna be a mix of responses here. Not that I think people's responses or like ideas are necessarily gonna be different, but I think as someone who worked in the service industry for a very long time, I think that there's a difference between how, I know she's not a server, I understand this, but like I'm speaking from a server's perspective because I was one for like 6-7 years. I think there's a difference between how servers should be able to respond to customers and how they actually respond to customers. And that's just, I mean, it's just like teaching, right? There's like a way parents should be able to respond to parents, and there's a way teachers actually respond to parents. And I don't love it and I don't agree with it, but like that's just reality. But even with that being said, I personally don't see anything wrong with what this kid said. Like, hey, it's policy. We don't do that. We just don't. And when the lady had a problem with it, she was like, if you don't like how our policy is, you are welcome to go to a location that has a different policy. I don't see the problem. Now, I know that there's probably going to be someone in the comments like, well, some people will do it for her. Okay, some people decide to break policy to make her happy, and that's their choice. They're welcome to do that. I totally would try to be way more accommodating to customers who were nice to me, right? So like if she's rude, I mean, the girl says she comes in every week and every week it's like a problem. I'd be interested to know. She didn't say it's a problem every week, but she says that every week she asks for a flat. Does she get it every week? Does she sometimes get it and sometimes not? Is she just being difficult this week? I don't actually know. I'd be interested to know that. I don't necessarily think it changes my answer in that, like, if something is policy and specific employees make exceptions for you, I don't necessarily think that means, depending on what it is, I'll get to this in a second, depending on what it is, I don't think that it's necessary for, like, I'm not gonna villainize others for not doing the same thing. Because here's the thing, I know there's going to be people that are like, oh, what's the harm? It's not a big deal, blah, blah, blah. And those people, I don't think worked in the service industry. Because here's the thing, if the way that they store this raw meat, right? I'm assuming, I don't know, because I didn't deal with food when, like, I didn't actually do the food when I worked as a server. I served it, I got the plate, I made the salads, but like I didn't deal with raw chicken or like how we stored raw chicken or anything like that. That wasn't my job. So I'm assuming she's saying that the raw chicken comes in these bags of either 6 count or 12 count, right? So if you have raw chicken and you open a bag and you see, let's say there's 3 drums, 3 flats, okay? You have to then go get another bag of raw chicken, take half of them out, swap them, put them in another bag, and then have an unopened bag of raw chicken waiting for someone else to get wings. And then what if, so then now you have a bag of all drums. Well, what if you get someone next who also wants all flats? And then you gotta do it again. Like, this is why those things tend to be policy. Because then you just have all these opened bags of raw chicken waiting for someone to be okay with the other, like the drums, right? You just have to hope they either don't care or want the drums. And at some point, that gets to be a health code violation. Because it's really easy to say, oh, well, for her, you know, you just give it to the next person. Well, then what about the next person who wants? What if the next person who orders wings? First of all, what if someone doesn't order wings for the rest of the night? You just have an unopened bag of raw chicken. And yeah, you can roll it up, but like, come on. This is a restaurant with health inspectors. It doesn't work that way. Like, I don't think y'all know, servers can't have like a cup of water with a lid and a straw on it, waist high level on the counter. That's a ding for the health inspector. You think it's not a big deal to have an unopened bag of raw chicken waiting to be used? Come on. So again, that's why those things tend to be policy, because if that's an exception, based on how places store things, okay? This is how this restaurant stores things. The sister location might store things differently. They might have a different supplier. We don't know. We know that this is their policy, and it makes sense to me as to why that would be their policy. So no, I'm not gonna shame a 17-year-old girl who doesn't wanna have to be the one to break policy and figure out what to do with the raw chicken and maybe get in trouble. It's policy. For a grown adult to sit there, watch a child, and berate her for not breaking policy for her, I think is wild behavior. And like, I think one of the biggest issues of like Karens in the service industry is like not taking 5 seconds to use common sense and just think about it for a second. You're watching this child take out a pre-packaged bag of raw chicken. You can't like take the 10 seconds to think about what she would need to do to make sure it has all flats and like implications of that. Or like ask, why would it not, right? Like, why can you not do it? That's like a very simple question. But no, many of these people don't care enough. They just want it how they want it. And you know what? If that's the case, that's fine. But then go to where you can have it done the way you want it then. What is wrong with saying that? I don't understand. I just don't. My light just went out. I hope it's not, still light outside, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. But I just, if you're gonna be bold enough to like, not only beg, but demand and yell at someone to break policy for you, I feel like you can't be taken aback when they're like, if this place does it the way you like it and we can't, why don't you just go to the place who does it the way you like it? Like, she's asking, she wants you to get the food that you want to get, so why don't you just go to the place that does it the way, like, I don't understand. I also don't understand the infatuation of like all flats, all drums. Like, I don't get that. But I'm also not a huge wings person, so like that's why I probably don't understand that, which is fine. Like, I don't need to understand. I can't stand people who insist you break policy for them, and then when you're like, I can't, it's like your fault. Like, you're the evil person. It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. It's a good apple. Apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for telling an artist I would rather use AI than commission her for work? I have a friend who works as an artist. I do a lot of D&D online, and I've commissioned her a few times to draw my characters. There's obviously a big uptick in people online using AI-generated images for their characters and profiles. I still prefer to use my friend and pay her for art. I don't really like AI. I lost my job due to AI basically making me obsolete in the eyes of my company. It hurt. I really liked my job and my coworkers. It happened last year, and I got pretty depressed over it, feeling like I was useless. My friends know how hard it was on me, and including the artist friend that I'll call AF for artist friend. I was texting AF, and during our conversation, I mentioned wanting to commission her to draw my newest character that I was making. She and I had a brief conversation where she thanked me for still coming to her for art because AI art has gotten so popular, and she noticed a big decrease in people commissioning her. I shared my experience more in detail about how AI took my job, so I get it. She wasn't really sympathetic though. Instead, she basically told me that it's different because my job is one that makes more sense for AI to do, but AI art is a bigger deal because it's stealing art from actual artists, and being an artist takes a lot of skill that AI would never be able to recreate. The whole conversation was rubbing me the wrong way, so I told AF that I disagree on it being a bigger deal with her job than it was with mine. I was actually laid off, not just a slowdown on commissions. I'm jobless in a market with my only career experience now being a useless field. It's awful. I didn't like how she was acting like her experience with AI was more serious than mine. AF was, in my opinion, being rude by not hearing me out and insisting that her experience was more valid than mine because my job in her eyes was easy to do and pointless, which is exactly why I've been depressed for the last year. I got mad and I told her, never mind about the commission, that I'll use AI to make my art from now on if she's gonna act like that. I also said she's probably lost more work due to being a jerk than because of AI. Well, then she blocked me and told some mutual friends about what I said, and I feel bad and embarrassed, but also pretty justified because I don't know why she had to act like that. And just to clarify, I'm not actually going to use AI. I guess I just said that to hurt her feelings and drive my point across. I know that was a big jerk move, but I felt really frustrated and unseen. But I need to know, like, even though that was a jerk move, was I the complete bad apple? Was I justified? I want some other opinions. You had me in the first half. You did. And I know people typically like have a different meaning with that saying, but like, I was on your side. I was completely on your side. And then you had to like make that comment. You 100% were valid in canceling the commission, for sure. But that comment, that's where you lost me. And I'm not saying the artist was in the right. Like something, I've been talking to so many friends about this the last couple of years. There's this weird phenomenon, and I've already mentioned in this video and in many others, like this weird infatuation that a lot of people have with like claiming people's disabilities as like quirky traits when they don't have the disability. They're just like, they think it's a quirky trait, and I feel like that goes hand in hand with like this other weird phenomena in the last few years of like oppression Olympics. And there are like true, genuine issues out there that many people are facing, especially marginalized groups, especially, you know, in the world of AI, especially like people whose occupations are kind of being railroaded over things with AI. And I'm going to be so honest with you guys. Like, as you all probably know, like I used to use those little AI filter things. I didn't understand. Like I just was uninformed. I didn't know for the longest time, like really what was happening and what it was doing and how it was stealing artwork. I just didn't know about it. And then you learn and you grow and you move on. That's like what happens. That's like a normal human thing. But there's this weird mentality of like, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. For whatever reason, there are people who are so obsessed with insisting they have it more difficult than others and that no one could ever possibly maybe have it as bad as them. And I feel like that's so belittling to individuals who like are going through the same thing, if not something similar, just in a different lane. Like what? Like whether it be, you know, the issue of who is most impacted by AI, which minority group experiences the most racism, like it's all bad. It's all just bad. I don't understand why we have to have like a personal limit, because I want to be so clear. Let's use our common sense for a second, because I know there's going to be someone on the keyboard. I can already hear it. There's a big difference between someone who is not oppressed, like not even a little bit, complaining about wanting to be oppressed, and someone who is a marginalized group or a person and is oppressed getting annoyed about the person who's not. And then like what I'm actually referring to of like oppression Olympics, where like two very valid concerns of individuals who are impacted by this AI phenomena, who are insisting the other person, yeah, but your job didn't matter, mine did. You're jobless now, you can't pay your bills, not that big of a deal, mine's so much worse. What? For why? For why? What's the point? What does this accomplish? I can't stand it. It is, infuriating. This, like, each other, just because you both are going through a very real, a very unfortunate thing does not mean the other ones doesn't matter. Like, you both going through a rough time does not mean you're struggling less, and it doesn't invalidate your struggle. Like, someone else can also be struggling. Both things can be true at the same time. I don't understand why so many people are competing in the oppression Olympics. I don't get it. And like, I was on board with him being so upset and so offended and feeling so belittled that he was like, you know, I actually don't want to support this artist. I'm going to find a different artist. Like, that is what I would do. Because someone who's going to belittle you losing your job, because like, okay, it's not just losing your job. I know somebody, I have a very near and dear friend who works in a field that's kind of been taken over by AI in companies. And it's not just like this one job didn't work out. Like, this is now a whole field of people getting laid off, and the people who have been in other positions who are getting laid off are the ones who are gonna be getting the golden ticket. They have the experience, so the companies that are still having human beings are gonna go with the experienced individuals. So then what happens to all the new grads? And what happens to the people with less experience, 5 to 10 years? Like, it's scary, it's a problem. I mean, there are people who have gone to grad school to be experts in a field who now, what are they supposed to do? Like, that's terrifying. My heart breaks for so many people that I know personally dealing with that. So like, if you have someone in your life who hears that is your situation, is like, that's not that bad. Like, I'm getting less people to commission me for art. Like, that's not a friend. You can both struggle at the same time. You can both be impacted by this at the same time. Someone who tells you that it's not a big deal, that you might not have a career at this young of an age, that's not a friend of yours, for sure. But like, you understand her struggle of starting to worry about paying bills because of AI, and you're gonna like throw it in her face that you're gonna participate in it anyways just to upset her. Then now you're doing exactly, I understand, like, you're like, oh well, I wanted to hurt her feelings. Why are you asking, am I the bad apple? Yeah, anyone who's like, my goal is for you to be as upset as me, do you think we're gonna be like, yeah, that was a great choice? No. If you were to just say, you know what, never mind, walk away and go to a different artist, good apple, golden apple, and I would feel for you so hard. And I still feel for you, but like, you're still getting an eye roll. And you're still getting, I mean, we're going bad batch here. I'm gonna be honest, sometimes like I'm thinking in my head and I like should go bad batch, but I'm not thinking about it. So I go bad apple, and then people like jump down my throat. It's like, well, why is this person the bad apple? I'm like, they're all bad. I said bad apple instead of bad batch. I don't know. That's the problem with having so many apple choices. So I was hesitant at the beginning. I only had the 3. I had good, bad, crab. And then people wanted more, and now like I get overwhelmed because there's so many options. And then it gets me in trouble because people think I'm supporting bad people, and that's not, I'm just a girl. It's fine. But I'm remembering it today because I took my Adderall. And we're going bad batch because everybody here's being a jerk. Everyone's invalidating everyone. Everyone's going out of their way to upset everyone. And like, it's not even like I wanted her to feel bad, as in like, you know, the girl at the pizza place, like, probably would not have cared if the lady felt bad. But it's like poking at the trigger of like, what is the result or the cause of struggling and worrying about bills in your future. That's the key here. So that's why we're going bad batch. Like, that's just for why. And I'm gonna be so straight up with the AI stuff. It's a problem. It's a problem that impacts a lot of people. The reality of the situation is I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Just realistically, I don't think it will. And I think that doesn't necessarily mean I'm for like, oh, well, it's gonna be here anyway, so free reign, whatever. Like, no, that's not at all what I'm saying at all. I think that there's a lot of restrictions that need to be placed on AI. I'm all for, in some spheres, banning completely, like, whether it be stealing artists' work or, you know, like creating things about people, you know, not great. Whether it be voice things, pictures, whatever, it's all weird. It's all unacceptable. There's like a lot of different aspects that I think need to be banned, heavily regulated, like you name it. I also think it's very unrealistic to think it's gonna completely disappear. And I think that instead of putting so much passion towards insisting that it does, I think a much more realistic and healthy and productive use of time would be to find ways to regulate in a way that it isn't taking jobs, maybe just changing it. Like, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. Not in like a, I don't want to get in trouble, but more like I have all these thoughts that I'm having trouble putting into words. Like I'm visualizing them as pictures. I don't know how to describe it. That might not make sense. Finding a way to coexist in a way that it's not making people jobless, it's more working alongside of, or finding more ways to oversee or double check, like, you know what I mean? And that I know that's gonna look different in so many different fields. And I'm not an expert on any of that. I'm not gonna pretend like I am. But there's gotta be a way to somehow find a way to like find a healthy meet in the middle. And again, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, AI everywhere. I'm saying that I realistically don't think it's going to be gone completely. I just don't. That's not how the world works in regards to technological advancements. I mean, there have been so many technological advancements in the universe, in the timeline of history, that people have realized, that's a problem. That, not a good thing. And it still doesn't go anywhere. Cigarettes, smoking, for example, cigarettes. I don't think there's a single positive they do, they just don't. They're just bad. Invented, not gone, just not. Unrealistic to think that 0 people in the world will use them. I wish, but it's just not how it works. As unfortunate as it is, and as many lives as it impacts, they exist and people use them. And I have a similar opinion of like AI in that I think it's unrealistic to think that it's gonna just disappear as many people as it impacts, and it sucks and it's unfortunate and I hate it. I just think it's unrealistic to think, just like cigarettes, just like guns, just like a lot of things, that's just not how technological advancement works, unfortunately. So I think that it would be a much more responsible way to figure out how it can coexist without impacting so many people, and people can work alongside of it rather than replacing people with, like, that's really the issue, is like the replacement issue, right? And again, I'm not an expert on this at all in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what that would look like. I don't know how to go about that. It's like a helpless issue, you know? And I'm rambling, and I don't know what the best answer is. I just don't. It's one of those things that there's no winning, you know what I mean? There's no winning. And it just kind of makes you feel helpless for the people that you know and love that it impacts. But there's also like nothing to do about it realistically. So it's like, what, you know? And I know there's still probably going to be people in the comment section like typing away. They're like, well, if you are not like ban it, then you're just a bad person. But like that, I think is a kind of an irresponsible response, because like, why would I put forth so much time, energy, and effort towards something that like realistically isn't going to happen? I would much rather try to find ways to like help the situation in ways that like actually will be implemented. Because like, let's be honest, corporate greed, they're never gonna get rid of it cold turkey. They're just not. I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm upset because I have very near and dear loved ones who have a similar issue, and my heart just breaks for them, and my brain wants to make sense of it, so I'm rambling, and I want to find a way to help them, and other people who have been impacted will know the feeling. It just stinks. And people just who want to misunderstand the intentions will just choose to misunderstand the intentions, and I can't do anything about that either. I've spent enough time in my life agonizing over people who are just gonna choose to misunderstand me anyways, and I just, after everything in my life, I just can't agonize over that anymore. But anyways, we have 1 bad batch and 3 good apples. At least that's what I got. I would love to know if you got anything similar or different down in the comments. And as usual, if you would like one of your stories to be featured on Am I the Bad Apple, you can send them to my subreddit, r/amithebadapple. And for your well wishes today, it is National Pecan Day, National Music Therapy Day, and National Look Up at the Sky Day. Actually, I love all those. All those stick out to me for different reasons. Look up at the sky, like I love the sky. I have so many pictures of the sky on my little camera roll. And it's a beautiful day outside today. It's so sunny. There's not a cloud in the sky. Actually, there's a couple clouds, not many. It's very blue, very blue. Pecans, I love pecans. If you call them pecans, get out. No, I'm just kidding. But actually, they are pecans. I don't know what to tell you. I don't make the rules. Yes, I do. It's my channel. They're pecans. On this channel, they are pecans. And music therapy, that's so funny. One of my friends in the content world used to be a music therapist. If you guys know Paige Zilba, she's so talented. She's so talented. She's so good. Music therapy is so interesting. One day I will snag her to do a podcast episode with me. We've talked about it. We don't live in the same state, and our schedules get so busy when I am in her state. But she's so great. She's wonderful. She's so talented. And I'm so interested in music therapy. So whatever day you are celebrating, definitely let me know down in the comments. I will probably, you know what? I think it's a good day to get some tea. I'll make like another mug of tea, go out on the screened-in porch, look at the sky with Dixie. That's probably where she is right now, is having her sunbathing time outside on the screened-in porch. That would make sense to me. She's a sunbathing girly. She does love her outside time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and hope to see y'all next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.